3, 2, 1.
Hi, welcome to Friday Night Files. It's 7:02. Thank you very much for joining. Very much appreciate it. If you're listening to this, it'll be on the Interdimensional Voyagers podcast. It'll be on Dogman TP Hunting on YouTube. I'll just sort out the camera quickly. Come on, always get this. Sorry, camera's gone. Right, let's have a look. Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween. Right, let's bring the co-host up. Where is Natalie? Here we go. Hello.
I'm here. Hello. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. You got something on your head, Natalie?
Yeah, I'm being haunted at the moment. That's the good one, and that's the bad one.
Is it?
Voices, yeah.
Right. Did they talk to you? Did they?
No, not yet. I think if they do start talking to me, I'll be a bit worried.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you had any trick-or-treaters come around?
Touch wood, no, but I normally hide every year because I'm socially anxious. So the idea of the whole thing terrifies me.
Yeah.
We've got a thing on our estate where if you want the trick-or-treaters, you put pumpkins outside. And if you don't, you don't put the pumpkins. So everyone just wanders around the estate looking for pumpkins, which I think is a great idea because, like, for people like me, random strangers knocking on my door, especially kids, for some reason, I find kids terrifying. So.
Yeah, I know. It's all. It does always seem to me a bit. I don't know. Do you know? It's like the one thing that as soon as Halloween comes or it turns around, there's always like fireworks, and I can never quite get my head around being able to walk into a shop and buy an explosives.
Yes.
I can't get my head around that. You know, it's like what? You know, still. And yeah, I mean, you know, I used to do Halloween out the front. I used to sort of dress up. Last time I dressed up as a psychopathic killer with an axe. You know, all like kind of, you know, mask. And I sat down. I sat down by the front door, and I didn't move until they were getting really, really close. You know. And as soon as they got close, then I'd be like, you know, because they'd think it was a dummy, which they're not really very far away from the truth. But yeah, I used to scare the Jesus out of them. Now I've just got machine gun turrets and I've got a moat as well.
Right.
Yeah, so they have to swing across the moat, try and get past the machine gun turrets. If they get past the machine gun turrets, then skeletons come up from graves with grenades. So I've got it pretty much covered.
Sounds like it.
I don't like giving sweets away. I don't like giving.
I was going to say, nobody's getting past there. All the sweets for you. It's like, what was that film with the, was it Battle Royale with the kids? Where
Yeah,
they all have to fight to survive. But this is like fighting for a mini Twix. It's like, if you get through all that, you get a tiny Mars bar.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you really want this Mars bar, don't you?
Yeah.
I'll fight you to the death. That's it. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, excellent. So I think it's all good, and why not? Right. So our guest, you know our guest already, don't you?
Yes, I've spoken to Cyn, and we've been in contact fairly regularly for about 12 months now, I think, give or take. So yeah, no, she's a lovely lady. I can't wait to speak to her. So
yeah, she's a highly respected paranormal investigator and researcher, specializing in EVPs, which is very interesting. I like EVPs. So I'm going to bring her on, Natalie. That's what I'm going to do.
okay.
Let's have a look. Right. Hello.
Hi.
No.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you.
Thank you. Yeah, indeed. Well, lovely. How do you celebrate Halloween over there, Cyn?
Like Natalie, I run.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't turn the light on, and there's no pumpkin outside. We just don't go to the door.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it, really? Because
I was going to say, we were saying, because I was saying to somebody the other day that when I was young, we didn't do anything for Halloween. It wasn't a thing. And then slowly over the years, but I know out in America, it's quite a big deal, isn't it? So it's sort of like, it's almost like first Christmas in a way.
Yeah, because people dress even infants up. The babies are dressed up. And dogs and cats are dressed up, and families come up with my best friend's daughter and her husband and 3 kids dressed up as Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs one year.
Yeah,
and they had them all as different, and then something else I can't remember. But they do like the family. Everybody in the family dresses up as the character.
Wow.
Adam's family, whatever.
Oh, wow. Did you ever do anything like that when you were younger?
Yeah. I mean, I love dressing up through the grade school and even college. And we would dress up and throw makeup on, like kiss makeup or whatever, and go to haunted houses. And loved it. Just, and I still love it, but I just don't like answering my door to give out candy, like Phil says. Nobody's giving out candy.
Yeah, that is the only problem with it. It is a massive sugar fest, isn't it? Basically, I mean, some of the costumes the kids are wearing, like you say, is so cute, and it's like, and I feel like sort of like a bit mean, to be honest, but. But I'm scared to answer my door. Even when the postman knocks, I'll just go and hide and wait for him to leave the parcel.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like to answer the door.
Yeah, no, I'm quite bad at that.
There's always a part of me that thinks with Halloween as well. I mean, we're always told when we go looking for the paranormal not to put out the welcome mat. And yet, on Halloween, on Samhain, it's kind of a tradition to put out the welcome mat. Is to entice, these things to come to the front door, and even give them sweets. It's like, I remember in the States, it enables all of the wannabe thespians to come out and just act, because it's so elaborate. I remember going used to take the kids trick or treating, and there was one guy, and he was had a smoke machine in the front yard, So he had this smoke machine going. He was all dressed up like a werewolf. His missus came. Yeah, his missus came to the front door. She scared the bejeez out of me because she was like Frankenstein, you know. But it was just incredible. Absolutely, you know, really. And the music was going. The smoke machine was going. And I didn't go up. I didn't have the bottle to go up to the door. I'm not that desperate for a sweet, really. You know. Sent the kids up. Go on, you go. Go on. We don't want to go, Dad. We don't want to go. Go on now.
I think that's probably the thing as well, is like, because when I was little, I was also terrified of people. So like the idea of being pushed to walk up to some stranger's door to knock on it. So I'm like on the other side.
You know, I was shy, but I could always go for candy. It wasn't a problem.
One of those that would follow a little trail of sweets down the road.
Yes, absolutely.
I do like the creativity of it, though. The things that people come up with is quite. It is entertaining.
Do that. Yeah, it is. It's you know, and it is. It allows. I think it's nice because it does allow, you know, the freedom of imagination to just run wild. And that's nice. That's a nice part of it. It's just, you know, they're able to sort of really elaborate on, you know, whatever they're chosen. They're chosen, you know, werewolf, Frankenstein, Dracula, you know, and I think it's kind of like cool to do. It's just personally, you know, I don't like the idea of coming up to the door really. So I'm like you. I join the group. I'm just like,
I think the other thing as well is that gets me, and I know the tradition, because obviously the idea is to confuse entities and spirits and things anyway, isn't it? So that nobody knows who is who. So there is like a dark side to it, but and it was like the whole trick or treat thing. You know, you think of it as like kids with candy, but if you don't give them candy, there is a sort of penalty for it, if you know what I mean. When you're like, well, I think, you know, oh well, I'll have to trick then, and it's like, you know, so there is like an implied sort of threat in there, I guess, for want of a better word. I mean, I know no one really goes through with stuff like that, but it is that kind of, I don't know, that makes me a bit. But then that is Halloween, isn't it? I suppose it's a mixture of energies, really, because you have, like you say, the life and the afterlife and whatever else is floating around all mixing together. So I suppose in some ways it's a perfect balance of it. But I was just like, I don't want the trick, thank you very much. I don't want trick.
I think people around here do tricks anyway.
Oh, really?
That's when the high school kids would get out in their vehicles and go to different houses and roll them with toilet paper.
Oh yeah, when they throw it up over. Yeah, I've seen that.
And it's not a really good okay, so if you were a kid, it's a really good time to do that because it's rainy over here right now.
Right.
Lots of rain, so it's hard to get tissue out of the trees when it's wet, right?
Yeah.
So it just kind of melts and just kind of globs up, and it looks awful. Looks really awful. So for the adults right now, they're hoping they're not going to get their house rolled.
Yeah.
But the kids are like, oh, it's perfect.
Yeah. I bet you used to do that. I bet you used to do that though, Cyn, didn't you? I bet you used to get a 6-pack of toilet rolls and go sling them over someone's fence.
My brother did. My friends would go, come on, Cyn. No, because I was afraid of getting caught. I didn't want to go to jail. And even at like 8 years old, I had this threat of jail over me for some reason. You know, I'm not going to jail. I don't want to be a prisoner.
Yeah.
Could you imagine like kid court? Like being sentenced to kid jail for toilet rolling someone's house.
How many houses did you roll last night? Oh, it was a record. It was 13.
That's 20 hours of homework for you.
Stand in the corner and write it. Yeah.
No, I get what you mean though, Cyn. I've always like had a fear of prison or anything like that, because I'm just too good looking,
Yes,
I,
you are.
I'd be caught in a shower by Mr. Big, who's in with the warders.
Yeah, don't drop the soap. Don't drop the soap.
Yeah, I always had to feel that. Yeah. Anyway, what we hear about? Oh yeah, I know what we hear about. Yeah, we hear about your books and about EVP and about ghosts. I think ghosts
Sure.
and paranormal.
All right.
So, right, okay. I just done a little thing. So, for people that don't know, let's have a look here. Aha, right. I've got this. Okay, so this is like a place where you can just like LinkedIn, and you can grab all of Cyn's links on this. It's really cool. And also, let's have a look. I just want to go into your books, because your books are all on Amazon, aren't they, as well?
They are.
Okay, let's get Amazon up. Right, now here we go. Right, now people, check this out on Amazon. It's Not Goodbye 2. All right, so you got a first one. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, It's Not Goodbye, Signs from Beyond. Right, okay, and then Not Goodbye 2. That was popular, that first one then. And then you've got They're Speaking, Are You Listening? Realms of Shadows, Whispers in the Dark, A Death's Doorstep. See, that would be really cool for Halloween, isn't it? Just like have that up on the front door. Death's Doorstep and Web of Terror, another book. Wow. Okay, what's your favourite one? If you were to have a choice, what was the most to write from a writer's point of view? Yeah, the most maybe research and writing.
Probably They're Speaking, Are You Listening? Because that was really supposed to be my first book, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. So I brought out 2 others instead. I brought out Whispers in the Dark first, and it was about things in my county, in Tennessee. So Lincoln County is where I live, and there's 23 short stories. 18 of those are in this county. And then there's a couple from Lynchburg, Tennessee, where Jack Daniels is made. And that's only maybe, I don't know, just a few miles down the road, not very far. So that I brought that one out. And then the second book was fiction. And you saw all the covers. My partner, Mark, that we kind of joined together to make our own little publishing team. And he does all the covers and the illustrations for me. And in turn, I edit all his books. So when you Google me, you pull up his books as well. But as far as a favorite cover, it's The Death's Doorstep is by far my most favorite cover that he's done. I love that.
That is so cool. Yeah, that is really cool. I must admit, isn't it? Oh, that's good. Yeah, that is nice. I like that one.
Yeah.
That would be nice. It's one of these stickers that you can stick on your front door.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be so cool. Yeah.
It was good. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, crack on. What's that?
That was supposed to be part of the Signs 2 book, but it was just getting to be too big, and there were too many near-death experiences and rescues and near miss. So I thought it just deserved a book by itself.
Okay. When you were researching that book, did you find that there was a single commonality. There was a single factor of near death. There was, we all have heard of like, walk into the light. Walk into the light, Marianne. Don't go into the light. The people do often see that type of thing. Was that quite common in the?
That was common, but it wasn't in everyone's near-death experience. That's what was so odd. A lot of people talked about moving really fast through a tunnel toward a light. But then others talked about when they woke up, it was darkness, complete darkness. And some were okay with that, and others were terrified. So it just depended on the individual. A lot of the people that saw some of the worst things, the darker things, it kind of made them, after they came back, kind of woke up to be a better person. They helped others more, and they just tried to, make their life better and help others as well. So there's that. And, and then in some of these stories, they didn't completely die. They got right up to it and then lived. So they didn't pass over into the veil. So you've got two different kinds of near death there.
I spoke to as a matron in a hospital earlier this year, and she said to me, I said to her, because of course, hospitals are great places because there were a lot of people who were ill, sadly go, and they pass on, there. And I thought to myself, putting two and two, together. Well, do you ever come across? I said to her, do you ever come across anything which has been, overtly strange, odd, ghosty? And she said, not really. No, Phil. She said, I can tell you one thing though. She said, I used to be on a ward which was end of life care ward. Yeah. So and she said, you'd be surprised how many of the people, especially the older people, would often say that they'd seen children coming up and coming up to the bed. And they go, and they were quite, she said, they actually would see them. We'd come up to the bed and go, you okay, dear? You all right? No, the children are here. What children? Your children? No, it's strange. I haven't seen them before, but they're so lovely. They're so sweet. They're coming up to bed. They're wanting to take my hand. And she said that I heard an awful lot. She said, I heard that an awful lot from people who were just on the cusp of going, because a lot of times they get put on the Liverpool pathway, which is basically nil by mouth, no food, morphine, and that was it, and she said when they're on that and they've been having that in their end of days, she said that very much often happens. Another account she told me about, just a real quick one, she said, I was alone in another ward, and this ward was very well known for just a strange feeling people used to have, nurses used to have there. And she said the TV monitors would come on all of a sudden. And when they came on, she said you would then find that the door at the end of the hallway would just swing open and then back again as if someone's walked out. And as soon as the door closes and they've walked out, the monitors go off.
Wow.
Yeah, so that very often happen. But yeah, I think, and with people when they end of days, when they see the tunnel, a lot of people say it's down to the synapses, the firing in the brain, that they see this light.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's more to do with that, or do you think it's more spiritual? Or
I think it's a combination. Mark, the my friend will actually tell you it is the synapses. He has died and come back. When he was in his dying state, he actually flatlined, I think, 3 times and was brought back. And that increased his abilities. So not only was he able to feel things and understand things and just know things, but he started to be able to see the spirits and the entities and all the things that he says. He says some I'd rather not see, but they're there, and I know how to deal with them now. But he says if everybody had that sight, which I would love to have that sight, I think, I think I want it, but it's like when I've only seen 5 spirits. So I'm like, oh, I want to see more. I want to see more. But it's like my brain is just not ready for it. You can see things out of the corner of your eye and then you turn and it's gone. And it's like, I think my brain is just telling me, you're not ready. You're not ready.
Right.
It is interesting because with things like that, because over time your perception, like how you perceive things, changes. Because when I first started like tuning into to more of the spirit stuff, I used to see lights and orbs quite a lot, and I've not seen them quite so much lately. But like you say, and then all of a sudden you start seeing figures instead, and like I think your brain does have like a little bit of a filter on it, and so it sort of alters what you're seeing a little bit, and then as you're more sort of either tuned in or more accepting of it, you tend to become a little bit more aware, and it changes how it I don't know whether they change how they present themselves or whether how you perceive them changes. It's one of those questions, isn't it? But it can evolve, because it's not everyone just assumes, like you say with the near-death experiences, that it is just one thing. But like you say, that there's not everyone has the light, not everyone has the tunnel. Some people go out of body, some people don't, and so there is a variety of experience, so it's not like a standard thing, is it? Which makes it more confusing, I guess, in a way, because and harder to understand, because every single person's unique in how they interpret what they're seeing, I guess.
But, Phil was talking about the older people seeing children, and here it's so weird. It's so weird because the older people here, the stories I've heard in my family and everything, is they see their dead parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, people that have gone years and years and years ago that come back for them, but they're not children. So I think that's interesting.
Yeah,
maybe it's unique to the hospitals, because it's more of a scary place. So maybe like the kids in the hospitals is designed to be less
frightening. I'm quite positive that what we're dealing with is an entity that manifests dependent on the individual's expectancy. So if it is something which is acceptable to that person, that they would rather see and interact easier with a child, they will see a child. If they see a relative, doesn't mean to say they are a relative, but it will manifest as a relative. And I think that is part and parcel of what we're dealing with. I remember when I was with another partner, and she's her mother-in-law. That was the closest I ever got to paranormal. She had had me in a state of profound psychological distress. My mother-in-law did. Sleeplessness, awful. It was just ghost symptoms. Anxiety, hypervigilance. She would appear from nowhere, mother-in-law would, absolutely.
Is this before she passed over or after?
No, she's still about, I think.
Oh,
Still about, but it's just not in my life anymore, thank goodness. But yeah, she'd appear out of nowhere just like that, you know. It was,
like
yeah,
pre-haunting.
to get some context on what we're, dealing with. That was the first thing that I had to, she was able to move objects, and I didn't know how she moved them. I just put the keys down, they'd disappear. Oh yeah, I just took the car, moved the car. I was, why? And she'd scupper plans for no reason at all. I'd be planning with the partner to go out somewhere, and she'd, oh no, you can't go out because I don't feel well. And so that would be like kind of all scuppered. And also the strangest part of it is, we used to have landlines years ago, right? So, and I used to. Have you ever had it where you pick up a landline and there's no dial tone, and this is so freaky? You pick it up to make a call. No dial tone, but you then hear a voice on the other end. Hello, Phil. I knew it was you. Who were you going to call? And that would be her. She's done that twice on me. I picked up the phone to make a call, and at the same time, she must have picked up the phone to make a call to us, and it just sort of crossed lined. But you can imagine, I tell you, I anxiety. But that's the same thing that we're dealing with. In a way, not mother-in-laws, but it's
we are technically.
Yeah. It's a trickster thing.
Maybe they are. Maybe all of the entities on the other side are mother-in-laws.
We've solved it. We've sussed it. You got to mention that in your book. I need a mention. Natalie said she's mentioned with her horses. I want a mention now. It's mother-in-laws. Yeah, that's what it is. But one thing I wanted to ask you on a serious note was this: crisis apparitions. Have you ever come across any accounts of crisis apparitions? Now that is like things like where people may have seen a ghost of somebody before a car crash, and then that person has, or they come in, a person will come into your home and you know them, and you go, oh, how you doing? Yeah, I'll put the kettle on and make a coffee. I'll make a coffee. It's no problem. I'll make a coffee for you. You sit yourself down. Next minute, you turn around and the person disappears. Later on, they find out that person passed away just minutes before. That's like a crisis apparition sort of thing. That's something where when somebody is in a position of impending trauma, they almost like have an outer body and they appear to somebody. Have you ever come across that on your research?
I have not personally. I was told a story similar to what you're saying, except this was older adults that were both toward the end of their life anyway. The gentleman was in ICU in hospital and not doing very well at all. His wife was at home sick, but not sick enough to be in hospital. So my friend was a nurse in the ICU, and he would walk over to the gentleman and say, Mr. Smith, what's the problem? You need to rest. You really need to rest. And he said, it's my wife. She's right here. I'm trying to get her to come sit down. She needs to rest. And David, there's nobody here, Mr. Smith. You need to rest yourself. No, my wife is right there. Come here, honey. Come here, honey. And this happened. This kept happening for the next few hours. His wife actually died at home before the gentleman died in hospital, which wasn't expected. It was expected the man would die first. So she was actually coming to him to lead him away.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts. Because it's like normally, like you say, it's normally someone that's already gone over. But could you imagine passing away and then having to go and get your husband straight after? It's like the story, because normally, like, it's quite curious because it's like normally it's somebody that's already passed and has been passed for a little while, so they're kind of like used to being on the other side. But they must have had a very strong bond.
Yes, they
for that
did.
to happen.
He died.
Yeah.
He died really soon after she passed.
Wow.
So they were very connected. They had been married
Yeah.
for long time, a long, long time.
Oh, bless them.
Yeah.
It almost gives me goosebumps. That does. It's very sweet.
It is. I think that the Dutch call it the Varduga, which is like a forerunner ghost, or a person's spirit that precedes them. The word comes from Old Norse and means caretaker, or spirit. The apparition perfectly mimics that person as well, perfectly.
Not really a doppelganger, though.
No, not actually a doppelganger. No, I have witnessed a doppelganger only once, myself, and that was like one of these things where I don't know. It's so absurd and so nondescript. You'd imagine it. I would want it to be kind of an occasion where there's a lead up and there's a kind of like a leverage story here. There's a story which is like kind of going to blow your mind. It wasn't. What it was I was taking the dogs to the vets and I was walking along the roads. As I was walking along the road, it was quite nice weather, and there was an unusual guy walking towards me, and he's unusual because of his dress. He had like a shirt on. He had a he had a suit jacket, but he had shorts on. Quite odd, had shorts on, and he was carrying a leather case, like a almost like a satchel. So it was, like kids years ago when I went to school, we used to have satchels, leather satchel, swing over a shoulder and like. And he had one of these, but it was like a man bag swung over his shoulder, but leather case. And he passed, and like even the dogs, like kind of, Basil and Ruby, like looked at him. It's a bit odd, Dad. And he went walking on. Another 100 yards further towards the vets, as walking up the pavement, I saw him again. Exactly the same guy, exactly the same dress, very unusual, same bag. And when I look back, and I turned around, I could see him walking 100 yards behind the previous one.
What?
And they had the same gait, the same step to them. That was the weirdest part. They had the same step. They were in tune.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, in retrospect, you think, if only I sound so, because a lot of what we deal with does come across as being absurd. And I think it's for a reason that it comes across. That is an absurd story. If I was telling it anyway, it sounds absolutely bonkers. But at the time, I didn't have a camera. I didn't have a phone. I did have a phone with me, but I had two dogs, two Jack Russell Terriers. One is very old, and it kind of like I've got to pull her along, Ruby. Whereas Basil kind of like he could pull a sleigh. He's just like out in front. So I end up starfishing down the road with one dog pulling and the other dog like pulling back. So I'm sort of walking sideways down the road. And and that's when I saw the guys. I didn't have a chance to get my camera, my phone, because the dogs were pulling me along. But yeah, but then it makes me think, would that have happened if I was able to take a photograph?
Yeah.
Would that have appeared in that way?
Right. Probably not.
Probably not.
Did you know anything about this guy? Had you seen?
Nothing. No, it was a visual experience that was it happened. I saw it. Another odd thing is there was other people on the pavement, on the sidewalk, but they didn't take any notice. They didn't seem to, be as interested in him as I was.
Mm-hmm.
Look at him. They weren't. They were just walking We were all walking by, and look, they it's like they couldn't give a damn, like it
Yeah.
was normal. But he was 100 yards behind the other guy. It was exactly identical. Could have been the twin, but the same gait, the same walk, same step, everything.
That's
Absolutely.
incredible.
Yeah. So yeah, I've seen doppelgangers. The Varduga is something which people kind of it is a forerunner ghost, and I don't think this guy was that. He was a doppelganger. And I think forerunner ghosts are kind of it's like a lot of times you find telephone when people have experiences with a telephone, they'll phone somebody up, have a conversation with them, only to find out 2 minutes, 5 minutes later that that person passed away.
Right.
But hang on, how could they pass away? I just spoke to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's another Verduga. It's a strange thing, isn't it? It's odd.
Yeah. It just makes me wonder who the guy was and why you got to see him.
That's
so what it puts me in mind of is like more with the UFO type phenomenon. I'm not well versed in it, but it's like, they have stories of people that usually go around in pairs, I think, and they're not quite people in that they look like people, but the dress is, like you say, slightly odd. And there's just something that sort of like looks a bit off about them. So like you say, like with the dress shirt and shorts, it's just so utterly, it's as if somebody's like pretending to be a person. Did you get that impression that they were like possibly or like a time slip thing almost?
Yeah, the impression I got first of all was why is that guy wearing shorts and a suit jacket? So yeah, you are right. It's absurd. It drew my attention. Of course, it did because it's sort of odd. It's odd. I remember I only saw the first guy first of all.
Did he look?
The second guy behind him I didn't see until the first guy passed me, and I kind of like, oh, that's a bit odd, and then I saw him again, and that's when I sort of shook my head and I thought, hang on, I've just seen that guy pass me.
Did he look at you?
Yeah. He didn't look at me. No, he didn't look at me. No, he didn't look at me. No, he didn't.
So odd. That is so odd.
Yeah. But then ghosts don't seem to, they seem to sort of run and hide from me for some reason.
You're terrifying.
I think it must be. It must be that.
It's just too good looking, you see. They're just like, oh, it's too much.
Oh, look, it's Brad Pitt. Oh, no, it's not as Phil. I hope they don't see me first thing in the morning when I got these 3 teeth out. And I'm supping tea for a straw, Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? With these ghosts, do they see that? And if they're around, do they see us all the while? When I sat on the toilet, when I'm in a bath, in the shower, it can be quite embarrassing to think about, can't it? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's what got me when I first started seeing things. Because I remember seeing an orb in the bathroom, and I was just like, and then my friend was like, "Oh, they don't care anymore. They haven't got a body. They're probably not even paying any attention to you." And I was like, "But it's a little bit of a disturbing thought that they, like when they can walk through walls and doors and things, and you think that you can't even shut a door against them really a lot of the time. So it's like, they can just wander where they want." Yeah. It is. Strange thought.
I need my privacy.
Yeah,
you got none.
No, in a weird kind of way. Well, maybe they don't care.
Maybe they don't.
Because they're not in body anymore. They possibly, I mean, like, it's what my friend said, because she I asked her about it, and she was like, I don't think they care, because it's not the same. I would say social's the wrong word, the same social rules, but they're existing in a different place, so it's not important or relevant anymore. So they don't even, because I thought that about angels and things as well, But then when you think about it, when you have accidents and things and you're asking for angelic help, they must also see all sorts of strangeness. So I suppose in a way, again, they probably I would think that they don't bother.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, we're not, it's a difficult one to answer. It is a difficult one, but seriously, Cyn, what are ghosts? What's your not putting you on the spot, but come
That's
on,
an easy
while you're
question,
on it,
isn't
what's
it?
the meaning
A
of
little
life?
bit of-
While you're on it, you might as well tell us what the meaning of life is as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, why not just go down the easy route with the
there's not just one definition for it. There's so many different kinds, and I don't know enough about them all. I just know that I'm weird, and weird kind of finds me, and I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. People at home, listen, if you got any questions, okay, we'll do all the questions at the end, okay, about the meaning of life. Cyn will and Natalie will tell us. Yeah, Cyn will tell us. And also I'm going to put some QR codes up. This one is for Amazon Books, for Cyn Shrader, her Amazon Books. So all you got to do, get your phone. If you're using your phone to watch this, you're a bit buggered. But if you're watching it on a PC or anything or TV, use your phone, and then you could use the QR and it'll take you straight to Amazon Books. I've got another one. So as we're talking, I'll be putting these up as well. Okay, so that's why I'm putting these QR codes up for people at home. Right, there's just an easy way to, rather than tapping out a website or anything. Oh yeah, I'm going to put your website up as well. Hang on. Yeah, because
I started telling you about the book that was my favorite.
Oh yeah, go on. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got sidetracked, which I do all the time, and I get sidetracked and then tell 5 different stories and then come back to the one I was telling in the beginning. So that's just me. But my favorite book is Speaking. They're Speaking, Are You Listening? Because it's about the electronic voice phenomena I found on my investigations. And in that 3rd book, as you're reading about them, there's over 100 EVPs in the book, but you can go to elkvalleyparanormal.com and actually listen to them all. Okay. So there's a drop-down menu, They're Speaking in Evidence, and that's got all of the EVPs from that book.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I can't get that up. Let's have a look. Oh, hang on. This one here?
That's it.
Okay. Right. I'll put a QR code up as well for this one. So let's have a look. Got blog evidence. Ooh, old. How do you say that?
Fayetteville.
Fateful. What?
Old Fayetteville Hospital.
Oh, okay. I'm glad. All right. Yeah. All right. Thank you. They're Speaking. Are You Listening? EVPs. Right. Let's go on to that one. Okay. Right. And then I guess. So if I click on one of these, it will start.
There they go. It's slow building. So if you click on the arrow above the words, you can hear it.
Okay, I'm going to try that.
Just like any EVP, if you've got headphones or earbuds, you can hear them easier.
Okay. Is that all right if I try one?
Absolutely.
Okay, what one should I try? What one?
The very first one is a Class A.
Okay. All right, here we go, guys. Right.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, I heard that. Hang on. Yes, I heard that. Sounded like a girl's voice, so like a whisper, a sort of loud whisper.
And that was about 3:30 in the afternoon. So spirits don't care what time it is.
No. Oh, want to play?
What did she say?
Get out. Get out.
Get out. I was going to say I'm on my phone, so it's a bit hard to hear. I can hear the voice, but I couldn't quite work out what she was saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, honestly, people, I would definitely, if you want to hear some EVPs, head to this site. I'm going to put the QR code up again, but if you head to elkvalleyparanormal.com, stick that in, and because there's loads. It's fascinating. I'm just going to play another one. Hang on, Spirit Box. Thank you for letting us speak. Oh yeah, very good.
And there's some, that you'll have to play over and over and
tiles in there.
Yeah, brilliant. No, Cyn, excellent.
Thank you.
Really, really good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, we didn't need you on. We could have just played that all night.
Thanks. Bye, y'all.
No, forget. No, stay. I was only messing. We love you. We
haven't talked about Natalie's story yet.
Is this the horse one?
Well, there's a horse one, but her nan was one, and then she's also got the goldfish.
My goldfish.
Mm-hmm.
You got a ghost goldfish.
Yeah, this is Cyn's latest book, by the way. That's the one you've just released, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one that just came out. Yeah.
So she wanted stories of like afterlife visitations, and I said, "Oh, I've got a few. Do animals count?" so I had a quick one about my nan, and one about my Binky, my little goldfish, and my two horses, Monty and Lancer, that passed. And so I've got like 4 little stories in there. So I've she very kindly published them for me.
Yeah, I was excited to get those.
And I bet you don't get many goldfish stories.
No, that was a first. That was a first. And it was the first horses as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that surprises me, that does.
Yeah. Well, my friend Eric, he has a house they just bought for their retirement. They just bought a house that is haunted in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and they've been renovating it, and they rent it out to teams to come in because it is haunted. And they've actually caught a horse neighing on it. So they've got an EVP of that. So, I've heard that, but never that someone's horse has come back to, as a sign. So that was a great story.
Yeah, no, it's mine were around quite a lot, especially Monty. It was about 8 years, I think he was floating around for before he got bored. But my friend's the same. She had a horse that she her first pony, and she ended up with about 10 other horses. And she says even now, sometimes like she could see an extra set of legs in this herd of horses.
Oh wow!
And when he was alive, this little pony used to like pushing her mum over. And even after he passed, it happened to her mum a couple of times where she'd come stomping up from the field going, "Your blooming pony's pushed me over again." And and she said, and you could sometimes see an extra set of little pony legs hiding in amongst the other horses, which was quite cute. Well, cute for her, not for her mum so much, but so it's like, they do hang around, but I don't think I've never caught a horse. But mind you, I've never done EVPs where the horses were anyway. So it would be quite interesting, because where my current one is, we've had a few, because it's like a rehabilitation track where they are. So we've had quite, we lost a few over the last few years, and I sometimes wonder if they're floating around. It would be interesting to try actually and see.
I bet you could
get anything.
I bet you pick up several EVPs then.
Yeah, it could be. It's like, I mean, we joke there's a Bigfoot down in the woods at the other end, because this track's about 3/4 of a mile long. So we joke there's a Bigfoot down one end, so it's like, and it's got a canal on one side and a train track on the other, so there's a lot of transient energy in it. But yes, no, I have sometimes feel like there is a horse around that's not there, if you know what I mean. And I have often wondered, I don't really take enough photos and things down there, to be honest, to see if we can catch anything. But I've not actually tried EVPs down there, so it might be an interesting. But yeah, yeah, because I used to say that about some EVPs, like the growls and things. It's like, how do we know that it's not? You know, everyone says, "Oh, you never get an EVP of a T-Rex," and I'm like, "Well, how do you know that that wasn't a T-Rex?"
It was a big growl, yes.
Yeah, you know, how do we know that that's not a saber-toothed tiger? You know, it's like we don't. So, you know, they're all going on about demons and entities, but maybe it is literally just, you know, it's sort of like a woolly mammoth or something getting annoyed. Yeah.
We have in the comments, we've got Dragonborn in the comments. She's put me right. I did say it wrong. I said Sam Hain. It's not Salwain, isn't it? As in Salwen. Yeah. My favourite time of the year though is Walpurgisnacht. This in between April and May. And that's when Satan has a bit of a holiday, and all the witches and devils and demons all get to have a little play around, because the big man, you know, or the low man, shall I say, has gone off and done a runner for a while, had a little break. But that's quite a good night to go out. I usually like to go out and do some detecting, investigating on that night. We've got Andy Penn. He said, down our way, there are 6-foot skeletons that look like they are climbing out of the ground. These things are huge. Okay. Got Keith Aston. He's a very nice guy. AP5324 from, what's what I say there? From Witchcraft to Christ, Bedouin, Ivan, Sites, Cryptids in Dartmoor. Oh, okay. Right, lovely. So yeah, thank you very much, everybody that's in the comments. And as I say, if you've got any questions, they'll be at the end of the show. Nick Berry, Nath Air, hello, nice. Thank you for joining us. Kate, Dawn, thank you very much for moderating. Very much appreciated. So that's excellent, brilliant. Right, okay, I've got a question. My question is this: with these ghost entities, is there you often get entities, ghosts, which are said to appear every year in the same place, like calendar. They follow a calendar. Have you ever come across that, where if you go to a certain bridge at a certain time, they'll appear at that time, midnight on the 30th of April, every year they'll appear. Do you think that's a thing?
I think there's a possibility. Yeah. There's too many times that people have gone to these places. It might not be the exact date, but this is a reenactment over and over of maybe a terrible accident or something that's happened. And these spirits have to keep reliving it for whatever reason. And which is a terrible, that's a terrible thing to have to go through over and over and over again. So hopefully that's just a residual and not a true haunting. You know, something like that. If it's that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, because a lot of times they can hear screams, and so you think it's they're playing out a certain scene, if you like.
I would hope it's residual for them. Why, you don't want them to have to relive over and over and over. So
no.
To me, it's residual.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. It's just, I don't know. It's a funny one, isn't it? Because it's sort of.
I mean, maybe there's a date, a very specific date that someone that has passed has, for whatever reason, has to keep coming back. What if it was a jilted marriage and then they died on that day? And so her sweetheart left her and then she died too. How horrible would that be to have to relive that over and over and over?
Where you guys are, you tend to have a lot of those bridges over the water, don't you? And because it's quite a common phenomenon over those. I don't know if they have a name, those bridges, but they're like the iron and wood almost, aren't they? They're like old bridges. That seems to be. Have you found a lot of ghost type stories associated with the bridges yourself, or is it?
Yeah, there's some tales of those, and they're usually linked to the stories called Crybaby Bridge. And Crybaby Bridge is where, and it's all over the country. It's not just here in the South. It's just all over. It seems like every state at least has one, maybe more. But a carriage was crossing the bridge and fell over into the water, and the baby died. So you hear a crying baby.
Okay.
And it's like an urban legend. Just like, so we got Crybaby Bridge, and we got the guy that walks the railroad looking for his head. That's in every state as well. So a person got hit by a train and it cut his head off, and they spend eternity walking down the railroad with the light. You see the light coming down the railroad track, and they have to spend eternity looking for their head. So those are two big urban legends over here.
Should we then ask ourselves this? Should we then ask ourselves maybe what time am I in when I am viewing this? Possibly, because for these entities to come back and on a certain time, a certain date, in a calendar, there's so many changes through the years, and some of these things go back 300, 400, 500 years. We've had I had a friend of mine who said to me just earlier on yesterday, funny enough, that he was by a golf club and he was talking to a guy and who works at the golf club, and he said to my friend, "Well, I often see a Viking walking across the grass of the golf club." And I was like, "But that's that's hundreds of years ago, hundreds of years ago." But to have these events which repeat themselves, they must have adjustment. If we break it down, they got the Gregorian calendar. Do they have do they follow that Gregorian calendar? Do they follow in the UK some British summertime? Do they change because of that? Is it something which is adapted? Do they adapt to that, or do we adapt to that? Do we, because we see on that date, regardless of when it actually happened, maybe 500-600 years ago, we were actually 5 days out of time, 6 days, maybe we were like a month out of time. It didn't actually happen on that time, on the 30th of April back then, because it was a totally different time. So it does tend to make me think that perhaps it is a lot of times us. Now, there is a thing of biocentric thought, which, are very for our eyes, not only are receivers, but our projectors are kind of and I think to a certain degree, we don't make up a headless horseman in our head. We have that vision of a headless horseman. There's lots and lots of visions of ghosts that people have of animals as well, where they're missing. Absurd. Again, half a cat is seen. The rear of a cat. Where's the front of the cat? I didn't see the front of the cat. I just saw half of the cat. Okay, well, It could be maybe if it's taken on cats that they're because they used to be walled up into the cavity of a wall years ago in the UK, because it was keeping bad spirits away, by walling up a cat. Maybe it was that. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think a lot of times that it takes what we interpret. We kind of like, in a way, we suggest. We start the suggestion. It finishes off the narrative. It finishes it off for us, and makes it in such a way that it's quite absurd. That's why Headless Horseman. Why on earth would you have? I'm sure years ago there would not be some guy with his head lopped off, still riding a horse and not hitting a tree or something. Or, well, no, horses would find their own way, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're also very good at knocking you off on tree branches.
Yes.
Yeah.
Horses,
Well,
they'd be like, I don't want this. I'm just going to walk into this tree and take your leg off. so they're not as benign as they appear. So maybe that's why the Headless Horseman, the horse actually took him under a branch. He lost his head somewhere along the way, and he's riding around still.
Right. Demonic horses. Now we're talking.
No, they're just tired. They were just tired. Demonic. They were like, I've had enough of this.
Yeah, probably, yeah. When you think about what they have to put up with, I mean, horses do have quite a sly sense of humour. I can attest to that quite significantly. But so it is quite possible that's where your Headless Horseman actually came from. It was the horse's fault.
Right.
But it is funny, like you say, about the repeating tropes that you get, like you say, that because I was just asking about the bridges because of the anniversary thing, and you're thinking, well, you've got the eye and the wood and the water, so you've got a confluence of sort of like energetic sort of things, and it's like, but like you say, it's across the country, and like in England it tends to be highwaymen, doesn't it? Headless horsemen, and things like that, and it does make you wonder whether that is an actual person or I don't know. It's like, I suppose if one person thinks of it, then, or it happens in one place, maybe it sort of, builds up an energy and then sort of repeats itself somewhere else. Almost like maybe a spell. Almost.
Yeah. The story is told again and again and again, and people think about it more, and it happens more because of that.
Because the anniversary effect would be quite interesting to see just how far back it goes. Because most of our anniversary effect stories, I would guess, are in the last couple of 100 years. And like you said, Phil, with the calendar changing, how many years back would you have to go before it shifts? If it ever does shift, like you say, and whether it is a literal in time thing, or whether it is one of those strange quirks or
is it just a time slip itself? Maybe.
Yeah, so I don't know, it's an interesting thing to think on, because it does seem a bit strange. I mean, I've had it at the pub when I worked. It was a Christmas, and I was trying to take somebody's order at a table, and I got this sensation of people dancing around me, around like Christmas. I don't think it was Christmas Day, but it was around Christmas, and it was a bit sort of confusing because it's like trying to take somebody's order while you can see things around the corner of your eye. But like you say, over time that day's going to shift. Well, that could be why your paranormal phenomena is not as repeatable as you think it is. I mean, it would be interesting if you had a place with a repeatable phenomenon to track it over time and see whether it shifts by a day or or two, or why sometimes like you have this repeating story and then it kind of seems to stop or fade away, or and then it becomes like legend rather than reality because it stopped having that anniversary effect, and then every so often maybe it sort of sinks back up again, and that's why it's an interesting thing to think about. You go
It
around in
is.
circles with it,
It
but
is
yeah.
interesting, and also the people. Do you think, like, does it go the same for people that don't follow our calendar that may see the same thing, the same headless horseman? Now I say that because a lot of countries they use a totally different calendar nowadays.
Yeah.
The Ethiopian calendar, known as the GES, which is 7 to 8 years behind the Gregorian calendar, so they're behind us.
Huh.
Nepal,
Wow.
Nepal uses the Vikram Samvat, which is once again totally different calendar. It's totally different year to what we have. But would they still see that anniversary haunting? If would they be aware of it if they saw the same haunting? You see what I mean? Would it be?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you follow a different calendar, does that put you in a different time to the people that how you get night owls and daytime people, and you sort of almost exist in a different reality, don't you, when you're a nighttime person to the daytime? It's like, I wonder if the calendars have a similar effect and put you in a different, almost a very slightly different time stream, like you say, because your perception's different, or whether they all kind of sync up and mesh and we're just putting the dates on because and it doesn't mean anything to anybody apart from us.
Yeah. Natalie, when you're in the pub and you saw things like moving around, what did they seem to be blue color? Did they in your head?
It was almost like a time slip where it was overlaid on top, and I just got this impression of people dancing in couples, dancing around in a circle. So, because the pub I worked in, I think, I'm not sure how old it was, but it was at least 200 years, I think. So I'm not entirely sure how long it had been an actual pub for. I think that was more recent, but at least since about 100 odd years. It just felt like a time slip, and it was overlaid on top of reality. So I just got this impression of people dancing around me and sort of celebrating sort of Christmassy vibes in the same space. But that was the impression I got with that particular thing that happened. I mean, we had the ghosts and things there as well, but that was the only time I had like a non-interacting one, if that makes sense. But yeah, it felt like a time slip to me. So I was in the same place but overlaid.
Okay. Yeah, that'll spin your head out, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well,
it is when somebody's trying to order onion rings.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I used to have it.
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, I want onion rings, please. Standing there.
Like, I mean, I had it a few times with some kids there, kid ghosts there, and they used to pull my hair when I was trying to do orders. So you're trying to ignore the fact that somebody's standing behind you pulling your hair while you're doing an order. But some of my guests were psychic, and I used to say, "Is there somebody behind me?" And she'd be laughing and go, "Yeah." So that wasn't quite so bad, because I'd be like,
I'm surprised you weren't sectioned, to be honest.
Well, I became known as the ghost person. So the second somebody walked into the pub and said, "Is it haunted?" they were like, "Nah." Yeah. Didn't tell everyone, but if anybody asked, I was always dragged out.
Okay. Cyn, I wanted to ask you about EVPs now. Do you find when you record these EVPs, do you prefer, or have you used analog cassettes, magnetic tape, or do you use digital only?
I use digital only. I have a friend that only uses analog, though, and she swears by that and says she gets better outcome that way. I just don't. They're hard to find, too. And the little cassettes, those are very hard to find now. So it's just easier to have a digital.
So what format do you use? Do you use like an MP3 player, or have you tried mess about with phone, or what's the thing you found most successful digitally wise?
for me, it's just a little Sony recorder. And you can carry it everywhere. It's just a small thing. I have recorded on my phone and gotten a couple of EVPs that way as well. It's just that some people will say, yeah, but that was your phone. You could have had all kinds of things coming in on you. Well,
we were saying this the other week, weren't we, Phil, that the problem with phones now is because they put like tech in everything that it auto adjusts. I mean, I used to get a lot of EVPs on my MP3 player until I broke it. And I thought, oh, that's all right, I'll just use my phone. But I've had diddly squat on my phone since. I mean, I've not tried as much on my phone, but the only time I do tend to get little like popcorn noises every so often. But other than that, I've had nothing on my phone at all. So I don't know. So that's why I was curious, because like some people seem to have no problem getting EVPs on their phones. So but yeah, my little MP3 player though, I could get something nearly every time.
Wow.
But yeah, so I was just interested to see whether you'd
No. I haven't had anything on the iPod or anything like that. Just the phone, and the digital. That
well, I done a film. I'm dropping a film straight after this. Okay, at 9 o'clock, and I did it on. I used one of these cameras, like sports camera, and I had a separate mic, like a Lavelle mic. Was it Lavelle? How'd you say it? Lavelle? Yeah, one of them. Anyway, so that's one of those, and I was. And I was using that, and I was going around an old chapel in Wales, and I caught some. I think it's EVPs. I caught an intake of breath and then coughing, and it sounded like it was. And that's the strange part, Cyn. I didn't hear it at the time.
Yeah,
I didn't hear it at the time. I did not. My other half, she said, "Oh, did you hear that at the time? Did you?" I was like, "No, I didn't. I didn't hear that. Not at all. You must have done." I didn't. No, and it just comes up on tape, on the recording. And I was like, not until I play it back, and because it takes forever to edit, it must be a nightmare for you as well with audio, because you've got to sitting through hours of audio. I actually don't bury, but I put into a dog poo bag a MP3 player like you've got. Mine's an Olympus. It's just what years ago they'd taken to a meeting, and they would sort of like record notes on a meeting, years ago. Right. And I put it into a dog poo bag, and I put it into like ghosty woods or cryptid woods. Where I know there's going to be sort of like sort of Dogman or something like that. That scared you, didn't it? But it is Halloween.
What they look like, is it?
I was terrified.
that was frightening.
When they come out of the pub.
This is the English version of cryptids. It's like none of these big like.
Okay, so the American version, the American version have got the glasses up the other way. So anyway, I wanted to catch one. I thought, well, they never sort of like just appear visually. It's always like with ghosts. It's a blur. It's a passing shadow. It's kind of slightly always out of focus. But audio, we always seem to get something on audio, like you have. The voices, the whispers, the this, that, and the rest of it. And I took it with that camera in this chapel. And the reason the chapel's famous is because it's got a picture. It's got a picture painted by this native Welsh guy years ago, turned century, and it's got in the picture there appears the devil. It sort of he didn't do it on purpose. It just appears through the picture. So I wanted to go to a chapel, and I got some EVP. Can I play you just a little bit and see what you think? Okay, all right, I'll play you a little bit. Right, let's have a look. If I can get it up. Okay. No, that's all right. Hang on. 1 minute. Memento. Oh, here we go. I've got it here. Right. Okay. Right then. I'll get it a bit bigger. Right. Okay. So what you think of this? Well, does that sound up? Wait. Wait. Does that sound? Yeah, it sounded up. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like yourself to be made known. Over here, I've got. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
You know, it was like, you know, just like, and then later on, right, hang on, if I can get it, where is it? I got knocking, and also this coughing. Now, I thought first of all it was, where was it? Face at the window. Oh yeah, here you go. Look, right. Okay, right. Hang on. Bear with, caller. Right. Okay. There is something in the window. It's the cough. There. See if I can't get another. Right. Did you hear the cough?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know it's faint. I know that. But I thought first of all, what? I thought no. Now, this place is an old chapel, and its walls. It's not a bit of plasterboard in sight. You know, these walls are like 2 foot thick. You know, it's properly built, so there's no noise coming from outside. And remember, I didn't hear anything. I thought you would know because I'm so gobby. Honestly, I can't help it. I just talk for England. I would say, I'll go, oh, God, who's that coughing? Do you hear that? Who the hell was that? You know, I would say that, but I didn't because I didn't hear it. It's only the microphone picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really odd. And the knock, I've got knocking, which sounds like it's coming from the floor. And these things, like with EVP, I find very odd because they seem to interact with us very easily. The ghosts do, rather than visually. They seem to interact a lot more easily on an audio level for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something? Do you think that it is? Do you think it's because they find that they need more energy to be visual? Do you think that could be a case?
Maybe. I know that Mark, who again is the one that does the illustrations and the covers, he has had more success in this past year and a half with remotes through the laptop and the phone. It's like he can get more answers from the spirits at the location that you're at if you're on the phone with him, because it's frequency. It's all frequency. It's energy. You know, he's got his cell or the laptop on, and it's coming through the wires. It's just easier for them to communicate with him now because of technology. So it's
how does he do it with the phone and the? Does he have the phone and the laptop connected? Is that what you're saying? Like
we'll call him and either be phone to phone or he'll be doing like a Zoom call with us.
Okay.
You know? So, but it's been amazing how much more he's gotten from the spirit side.
Does he get the EVPs coming up on the actual Zoom call then? Is that where he picks them up from?
he can speak with the spirits there. He'll we actually did that at my friend's haunted house that they bought for their retirement. He said, okay, just let's go around. And so we walked around this house and had him, we had the phone pictured so he could see where we were going. And he'd say, oh, no, back up 2 steps. Okay, no, now move over to the right just a little bit. No, the other right, and okay, right there. There is your spot that the most energy is coming through in the room right now. So if you've got a question, ask, and let's see what we find out. And it was just incredible how much more he was getting.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did he do that without actually being there then?
Yes.
Yeah. So he was picking it up through the... Wow.
Yes. It's been incredible. It's really been incredible. He's in Florida, and I'm in Tennessee. The friend that and we were doing that in Kentucky at my friend's house, but
wow.
Also a guy up in Ohio has used him in Indiana and Ohio and a couple of different places and gotten just incredible amounts of information.
Wow.
And they're able to verify. So he would come up with a couple of names. At my friend's house in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, he said there's a woman here. There's she goes by Georgie. That might not be her real name. It might be something more like Georgette or Georgina or something like that. But the kids call her Georgie. And Eric said, I haven't heard of any Georgie. And Mark says, well, there's one there. And so I kept talking to Mark while Eric called the historian of the county and who knew about the house a little bit. And he said, was there ever a Georgie? And he said, but back in it was either the 60s or the 70s, there was a nanny there that took care of the kids, and she cooked and she cleaned and she did all different things, and her name was Georgie. So it was just, he's just finding all kinds of information, and it's easier through cell and internet for whatever reason. It's he says that the spirits see him as frequency through that means, and so they're easier to talk to, and he's easier to talk to, and more approachable and all that. So it's been interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say that is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think with the advent? I mean, this is to both of you and people at home as well. Let me know in the comments. Do you think that with the advent of AI and with technology that we have at the moment, do you think it is easier for them to use that technology as a conduit to contact us on? I do remember there was a case years ago. There was a story, an account of a couple moving into an old farmhouse. I forget where it was now. It was in the UK, and they had an old BBC computer. You might remember this, Natalie. An old BBC computer, and it wasn't even linked up to the internet. I don't think it was, because there wasn't internet back then. But they were just using it for a glorified typewriter, if you like, a word processor.
Mm-hmm.
And they went off to the pub. This couple did. There was only a couple in this old cottage. They went off to the pub. And when they came back, there was a message on this old computer. And it was from some person in the 16th century, but they were talking Old English.
Wow.
Which is basically, sort of, it's not extinct, but it's very, it's very, it's a language which is very defined. You can't, it's not spoken freely anymore. And anyway, they kept having these messages over a period of time, and I think it was the guy that the partner, the man, his friend at school where we taught used to be a history professor and was quite good at languages. So he said, look, would you come and have a look, because it's freaking us the hell out. This computer keeps coughing up these sentences of old English. We can't really make any head nor tail of it. Can you just verify what the hell is going on with it? And he did, and he said, yeah, that is, and the way it's written, it's exactly how it would have been written years ago. And that would have been very, very hard for somebody to mimic off the cuff. They would have to do a lot of study, a lot of referencing, a lot of, and remember, this computer's not linked up to the internet. So and it went on and on and on, and I'm just thinking to myself, I remember a true story, and this is a true story, right? Absolutely 100% true. I was do you remember the old computers had a 56k dial-up modem? Yeah, so you'd kind of like link your computer up and then link up to the internet. At that time, it's plugged into your telephone line, and then you can hear it linking up. It made that funny noise, like a dial tone noise, and then it would make electrical sounds, little beeping and stuff as it like linked in to the telephone number, as it were. And any image you brought down, it would come down in individual lines from the top down. It'd take like half an hour just to get a photo. Like, really, I remember on dial-up, I had two speakers linked to the computer, and as it was dialing up, I heard a growling come over the speakers. And this growling was very audible, very loud. My friend at the time was in the lounge, and they said, "What the hell is that? What you're doing?" Because I had it set up, believe it or not, in the kitchen, because it was the worktop was the right height for me just to stand and do what I needed to do. It took too long to do anything, which, I just used it to write stuff on, really. And I heard this audible growl. My friend heard it as well. I was, he said, what are you up to now, Phil? I was like, no, it wasn't me. It was the computer. He said, you want to switch that off? That's something bad. That growling, that's something bad. So I'm just thinking, even back then, do you think we should be worried with AI and with technology now? And it seems to be that with I won't say the word Alexas, people or Googles, I'm going to say Alexas because everyone's Alexa's going to go, oh, I don't think I know that one. All over. People are going to hate me for that. But anyway, do you think Alexas are, and I know 3:00, Devil's Hour, there's a lot of videos out there where people say that their Alexas make some strange sounds, noises, talks to people. Do you think that we're reaching a stage where we can get communication through maybe a medium such as Alexa?
I think so. And I don't think you need Alexa or anybody. I think they can use the frequency themselves, and they don't have to know technology. They're on a different level. They're dimensional. Everything is different. So, and it's like also with languages, how maybe you have this person speaking only Afrikaans or Russian or whatever, and then all of a sudden you hear English. They never knew English. Well, they're on a different dimension too. So why can't the language change and be what it needs to be when the person listening hears it?
Yeah.
It's just too dimensional. There's way too many dimensions. There's too many different times is just, there's so much there. Why can't things be manipulated?
John Keel said that, didn't he? John Keel, basically along the same lines, he said the only difference between us and them is that if you can imagine a building, we're on the ground floor, they're on the very top of the building, so they can see the whole of the picture, the whole of the street, the beginning of the street and the end of the street. We only see that one section of the street because we're on ground level. So it's the same type of thing, you know. I think do you get do you get jealous of your friend, you know, your partner, because they can see sort of more and hear more?
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
Yeah,
I have started experiencing more. The more I'm around him, the more we deal, you know, different things together. Things kind of move my way, and I'm able to understand more, you know, feel more, whatever.
It's odd though, Cyn. It's odd because you're open to it. Now, people that are open to it and want experiences, usually they get what they ask for. So what's stopping you, do you think?
What's stopping me? I think it's like the brain thing. It's like the brain thing goes, no, you're not ready. I really think that, because I want to know more. I want to experience more. I want to see these things and hear more. Like I don't on these EVPs, very few class A, and very few that you actually hear at the spot. You know, I've heard my name call a few times and then it not show up on EVPs, but I heard it there. So that's different as well. And there's just so many layers. I've started to get spirit phone calls. Have you all gotten any spirit phone calls? Those are odd. Those are very odd. I've been getting those this past probably 8 to 9 months.
Wow.
Yeah. And Mark will get them a lot of times right before he goes on an investigation. They'll call him, even if he's driving, he'll get a phone call and nobody's there. You might hear a little breathing or, you know, maybe something, you know, just something. And that's it. But they're letting him know that they know he's coming and they're ready to talk to him.
Wow. Yeah, I've never had that happen to me. And my phone will switch off. Usually, if I'm getting really tired, because I have a friend that is quite chatty, and sometimes I'll answer the phone anyway. And then my phone's done it to her quite a few times where if I'm really tired, it won't connect her. She says, "Oh, I've been trying to ring you for the last 2 days," and I will look on my phone and I'll have nothing. And it's like my phone senses it, and it only really seems to let her come through when I've got the time
and energy.
Talk to properly. Yeah, it's quite bizarre. It's like I've had it happen so many times now. It's sort of like, you know, or the battery will suddenly go, and we'll joke about it, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that my phone's telling me that's it now. We've talked too much. It's like, you know, but it won't connect her calls. It won't even tell me she's rang me.
Wow.
And I'll be like, well, that's interesting because I've had 3 other calls from people today. So it's not, you know, like my phone's not working, but I've not had one where, I mean, I don't want one just in case anyone gets any ideas. But I've never had, you know, one from the other side. Yeah, that's quite interesting. Is that happening on, have you got the same like make of phones? Or is this on like just general phone?
Just general. The ones I've been getting lately look like they come from other people I know, like my mother. And I'll call because I'll have a missed call from, it'll show the time and everything. Sometimes they'll just go straight to voicemail, and there'll be just very little that you can hear, but you can hear something. The first one I got was 4 minutes. And, usually you don't have a voicemail last 4 minutes. Usually they're a lot shorter than that. This one was 4 minutes, and you could hear breathing and clicks and little mumbling, but nobody was there. I called my mom on this one time, and my sister was right there. And she answered the phone for my mom. And I said, did you all just call me? And she said, no. And I said, oh, well, I had a missed call from mom's phone. And she said, well, it hasn't rung. We've not been using it. We're just sitting here talking. And she's in nursing home right now, so not very well. And so she wouldn't just pick up her phone to call. So it's been odd. My husband has gotten some, and it'll look like it's come from me when he knows that I'm sleeping, because he's a morning person and I'm not. I'll go to bed like 4 a.m. here, and which is what, 6 hours ahead of you or behind you guys, I think.
Yeah.
So that's what time I go to bed. He gets up around 5, so I'm in bed maybe an hour before he gets up, and he knows I'm asleep, and he'll be like, I got a phone call from your phone. Well, it wasn't me.
Wow.
So it's just kind of strange.
I
don't know who they are. I don't know who they are.
Yeah. Being rude by not telling you, aren't they? Really?
How dare you?
I wonder if it's like, if it's from people whether it's like from spirits that are around that end.
Maybe.
Sort of like, that are around where your mum is, or, and I don't know. It's just interesting with it being specific to certain, like say, people it does, or whether they're using that, because it is a commonly used phone number. So that is a curious phenomenon, isn't it? Because it's like,
and see, it's different for Mark because it'll be where he's going, or that kind of thing. So that's different. So I don't know what's going on with my phone. Kind of odd.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, because the ones where he's going, they wouldn't know, would they? Because they've not met him.
Right?
Yeah. No. Mm-hmm. That would be about scary when all the ghosts start getting the hang of being tech savvy, I think. To be honest, it's like, because maybe that's why it's starting to happen, is because they are all getting a bit more savvy to it.
See?
Yeah. And it's like scary. I find that a little bit scary in a way. To be fair. It's like bad enough avoiding phone calls from living people.
Yeah.
We've got silent and ghost silent now as well.
Yeah. I quite like it. I've got that Google, the Google cuts in and it takes your call and answers for you. I've got that on my phone. Yeah, it's really cool. But I've never had a ghost one, sort of like where Google's answered the ghost. I fear to ask what Google would say. It'd be I've come to haunt you. Oh, have you really? I don't think I understand that one. Would you mind giving me give me a few details? No, haunt you. I'm going to scare you. No. Oh, really? Well, you'll find that I don't actually sleep. So it's going to be very difficult for you to try and scare me because I don't actually wake up at night. I don't. Oh, God, can it just go on, wouldn't it? It'll be like, oh, what? Right, we're getting up to 2 hours now. Cyn, would you come on again, please? Because I didn't cover half the things I wanted to.
Sure. Say when. I'm there.
Brilliant. Because it's been nice, and it hasn't been a conventional interview, which is nice though, isn't it?
Yeah. Is that bad on my part? Have I been a bad guest?
No, it's me. It's me. It's me. It's all me. It's just like because I like kind of I just like I like the feel of doing what we do with like me and Natalie. Natalie was, it's like we said, it's nice talking to people as if you're meeting them in a coffee house.
Yeah.
And just a chat at a table, you know, rather than saying, right, okay, you know, tell me all about, you know, how you started, how you got onto this, how you got to, and then, you know, kind of like, which is great, but it's nice to have the interaction, I think. You know,
I think as well as like if you can go wherever you want in a conversation, you never quite know what you're gonna get either.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like I always used to say to people before, it's like it doesn't necessarily have to be paranormal related either. It's like if we go off on a tangent and we're talking about like our favorite like spices or coffee or donuts or whatever, it doesn't matter, because like you say, it just makes it more interesting. Yeah, because you can have fun with it then, can't you? You can play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's because that's the problem sometimes, like you say, when you're talking to people, is like keeping things fresh, you know, and trying to find sort of like different angles to things. And it's like, and when you go in a standard interview, a lot of people that do a lot of podcasts, it's almost like a script, and you can't help it, can you? Because you fall into that sort of like pattern of talking. So it's like trying to break people. And of course, me and Phil are a little bit non-linear anyway. So it's difficult to follow a script because my brain starts going off on a tangent, and it's like, it's cool. We've had great fun. But
yeah, and like I said, I'll be telling a story and then tell 5 different ones before I finish that first one.
Really?
It's like, because you never know what comes out. It's like, because the brain will suddenly go, wait a minute, I forgot about that one.
It's great, isn't it? I think it's organic. That's what it is. It's organic. It's an organic way of like having a conversation, and you're still getting information, you're still learning, but also we're all kind of interacting, and it's a bit more. Does it seem more relaxed to you? It's a bit more relaxed.
It's more fun. It's more fun too.
Yeah, I think so. You know, could believe me, Cyn, it's a circus in my head, you know, with little poison dwarfs and all sorts, you know, it's an absolute circus. You know, God knows what's going to come out of my gob next time. You know, I've got no idea myself. I've got no control over it.
I have to admit, sometimes I get a bit worried when you can see his thinking, and I'm thinking, what's he going to say now? I'm not 100% sure where this is going. Mind you, I can be just as bad, to be fair.
Well, and I started getting nervous and when I saw him thinking as well, because I don't think I'm answering your questions the way you want me to answer them, Phil. And
no, you're fine. No, absolutely fine.
I feel like you're asking a question, and I go bing, 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 and then nothing gets answered.
No, it's fine. Absolutely, I love the pinball. It's all right. I love it. I love it. I've even got a knacking bell here. when Natalie,
he told me I was talking too much, and so he's got a bell to shut me up if I talk too much.
Has he used it yet?
No, actually, no. I was when he showed me. Was it last week or the week before? You go, I've got a bell now for you. I thought the first thing before I even opened my mouth, he was going to be pressing his bell, and I'd have to sit there all sort of like for 2 hours, like bing, bing, bing.
I started using those in investigations.
Yeah, they're good, aren't they?
Yeah,
I know. We got to have a total strip down of what gear we use as well, because we can have a good chat about what you like to use and what I use, and you know, so I use tarot cards as well.
Nice. I don't know enough about tarot cards.
I don't. I use a real simple set. Really simple. I do simple very well, Cyn. I do simple very well. Yeah, you know. Honestly, look at this face.
It's a very handsome face.
It's just vacant. Happy Halloween to you all. Happy Halloween to everyone at home. And until next time, Cyn, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Absolute pleasure. You're a lovely, lovely, lovely lady. Natalie, you're lovely as well, obviously. And you have yourself a good evening tonight, Natalie.
I will.
And thank you, everyone, for joining in the chats. And, it's been very... It's nice. It's a nice Halloween relaxing. It's a nice relaxing just to chat with people. So, all right, I'm going to take people off. Thank you very much, Natalie. And
Thank
Cyn,
you.
I appreciate it.
you.
Thank you. Right, Natalie, take care.
See you
I'll
later.
see you soon. Yes, we'll talk hopefully next week. Right, thank you, everyone. As I say, the video will be dropping at 9 o'clock on YouTube, but check that out when you want, when you can. And I shall bring up Rox to just take us out the show, basically. Thank you all for your time. I appreciate it. You've been great. See you soon. All right, bye.
Well, that was brilliant. Thank you to Cyn Shrader Hill for coming on tonight. Everybody was so entranced by you. People in the chat were saying how lovely you were and how fascinating it was. And I think everyone was just listening to you. I'd like to say thank you to Natalie. And I love your little things on your head. So cute. And thanks to Kate and Dawn for looking after the chat. It was good tonight. Thank you. I've got a little Samhain poem that I came across, which is really sweet. So I'm just going to read it for you. It's called The Fairy Ride, and it's by someone called Ella Young. Forget the hearth, forget the roof, set the wheel aside, warp and woof. Steal out to us this Samhain tide, steal out to us, tossing hair, set sun and moon and stars aflare. The racing winds are hounds beside the cloud-maned horses that we ride. Come ride with us, have heart to dare, the plunging steed with steeps of air, the swirling high tumultuous flight, the fairy hooves this Samhain night. So I'd just like to say happy Halloween, everybody. And I've got a fascinating fact that people might not know, that the mask used in the film Halloween for Michael Myers was actually a modified Captain Kirk mask from Star Trek, the original. So next time people watch that's just have a look and see if you can spot him. Well, have a brilliant, brilliant evening, and I'll catch you again soon. Bye.